it's me. I'm back again for what, like the second time in the past month only. Um, well, updates have been pretty sparse lately, but I figure I at least owe you one more before I go back to work. Um, Surprise, surprise, I do finally go back to work tomorrow. Been off for just over 6 weeks now, so I am definitely going to be rusty when I go back. So it's going to be fun to see how that all plays out. But yeah, so it's been a little over 6 weeks since I had my surgery. As you can see, I've got actually some some results here. Um, I kid, of course, but yeah, I'm content with results of the surgery. So it's it's all good. I mean, $40,000 worth of medical bills isn't what I was hoping for, but at least insurance picked that up. So at least that all worked out. But yeah, as far as things are going around here, like I said, I go back to work. Finally, I go back to work tomorrow. Um, it's been kind of a back and forth with my employer, my supervisor, the HR department, the company handling the short-term disability payments. Um, I've been on the phone constantly between all those parties, and I am so ready to just be done with all that. Having call them up every few days, and be like, okay, yeah, what's the latest information on that? And okay, here's what's going on. Oh, your doctor needs to submit another document. Oh, that's great. Okay, let me send a message to the doctor and hope that she responds in a timely manner. Uh, BCW, she always did. Her nurses, and the clerical staff in her office have been great. So that's been wonderful. Um, but yeah, I've been uh, I've been pretty much a hermit for the last month and a half. So not a whole lot going on. Did try some live streaming here and there a few weeks ago, and never really gained any traction off of it though. I mean, I did delve into Final Fantasy Tactics, Evilist Chronicles a couple weekends ago. Realized pretty early on that the live stream format was not going to work for that, so you know, I did a bunch of pre-recorded segments that I've been uploading on a schedule. They're not working out, so I'm gonna discontinue that series entirely. And I'm looking around my games. I'm just like I can't really find anything that I really want to live stream at this point. Just because everything that looks good or everything that I know I'd want to play, I've already played to death, and I want to experience something new. But at the same time, will I pick up on it easily? Will I embarrass myself in front of a potential audience? I mean, what audience really? I think I think the most I ever got out of a live stream audience was like 12 people, and that was back with Dragon's Dogma, the first one Friday night. So there's that whole thing about embarrassing myself live. It's probably not going to happen, but still, it's a thing I think of. But I would have liked to have had the opportunity to really get somewhere with a live stream or even pre-recorded footage, but there's just no market for someone like me. There's People don't want to see someone like me, you know, half-assing games, and I don't have the funding, to get a proper gaming setup, for live streaming or for video editing or any of that. So it is what it is at this point. I'm just going to be sticking with these life updates. Apparently, maybe the occasional short for like Monster Hunter or something where I happen to catch a funny little tidbit. But I think that the whole gaming side of it, apart from that, it's just because I get retired. Because no one wants to watch me play games. Um, but yeah, so we're mid-November now. Thanksgiving's coming up here. Um, haven't heard anything from the family as far as getting together. Not that I really care at this point because, well, I mean, right here, the family I've got one brother who's in the middle of chemo again. Um, I don't give him much longer on his being around. I mean, he's been fighting with colon cancer since God, what was it, like 2018. So he's beat the 5-year survival rates, you know, pretty easily, but they keep finding um, new new lymph nodes that need to be addressed, and it's been spreading. He was stage 4 when they found it, when they found the colon cancer. So he really is a miracle he survived this long. So he's going through chemo, so I really doubt that he's going to be up for any kind of you know big family get together. So he's out, and his whole household will be out too for that, I'm sure. Another brother. Well, they are usually out of town unless they're hosting or have a solid reason to stick around. But it's been very quiet on their end as far as planning anything. Mom doesn't do hosting anymore ever since she lived into assisted living, so that's out. And my place is simply too small for hosting something like Thanksgiving. I don't have furniture for shit. I have a table built into one of the walls in the living room, and I have a recliner, 2 computer chairs, and a futon. That's all the furniture I got. So, not exactly ideal for any kind of hosting. Um, yeah, so Thanksgiving, I know that's just going to be just another day on the calendar. Nothing special. Yeah, it just leads to me, getting holiday pay for Thursday and Friday that week because they do also pay us holiday pay for Black Friday apparently. Very cool. Um, so I'm trying. Oh God. Okay, so kind of jumping all over here, but I'm just taking these as I had to think about them. So yesterday I finally got sick of all this makeup that I got everywhere. I've been subscribed to Ipsy or BoxyCharm, whatever the hell they call it. Anyway, so every other month I get a box from Ipsy. It's like $30 every 2 months. Get like 5 full size items. You get to carry it to a small degree. But anyway, I've been getting shit from them for about 4 years now, and it just keeps accumulating and accumulating and accumulating. Well, yesterday I finally took the initiative, and I started going through all this shit that I've had for years, or things that I don't know how long I've had them for, and I just went like totally discarded like probably 2/3 of what I had, because so much of it expired and or I've had for a long time. I don't know how long I've had it for. It doesn't have an expiration date on it, and yeah, I just took a grocery bag and just started tossing shit in, tossing shit in, tossing shit in, and now all of a sudden I barely got anything in my makeup drawers. And I gotta get through all that. I've got a few things of eyeliner and oh dear God, I found a liquid eyeliner amongst all that. Broke it open this afternoon, and I think I'm really happy with it. think I've got anything sitting down here below the lash anymore. And for me, that has been an ongoing issue for the past, I don't know how long it's been now, but I've been using this what was it, NYX brand for quite a while, and it was a gel stick, so you just, and I was trying that, but it would always flake off, very quickly, and wind up getting stuck inside the crease under my eye. And I think that's part of why the crease has become so noticeable, especially over the past year or so. And so now trying this liquid eyeliner, and it seems to be sticking pretty well. So I think I might be a convert, uh, going to liquid eyeliners. Now, if I could just figure out a foundation that would not look all caked on every time and not still into the creases and the crow's feet and everything I got going on, that'd be great. That'd be perfect. But that'll be a whole lot of trial and error, and that's going to cost me a fuck ton of money to figure out what's going to work. That's the thing. You ask online regarding makeup suggestions and how tos and everything, and the response is always the same. Oh, just look up a tutorial on YouTube. It'll explain everything, except it doesn't. You're gonna go to the top of your videos, whatever, and they all say the same thing. Just find what works for you. Just find what works. Just find what works for you. Just find what works for you. Motherfucker, if I knew what worked for me, I wouldn't be here. But no, they always say just do what works for you. Well, the problem is I don't know what works for me. I've never had anyone to really guide me through it to know, you know, what my skin type is. What what blending techniques I can use to minimize the laugh lines and the under eye crease and especially the crow's feet that become really apparent when I smile, and it just I need someone to talk me through it, so I can have a back and forth with them. But no one, I don't know anyone that actually has that level of knowledge, or who is willing to take the time to work with me on it. So I bungle my way through with this half-assed knowledge of basic makeup, and it just doesn't work most of the time. But anyway, so I get through all that shit with sorting through the makeup and everything, and I try to figure out what to do with a few extra things I'm holding on to, things like extra mud masks and whatnot. And I open up the drawer, and there it is. I realized that, well, fuck, I still have a whole bunch of other shit sitting down here in this drawer that I set aside from last time that I was going to use. So it feels like it was all for nothing. Plus, I got a bunch downstairs sitting on that giant wooden table that arrived from Ipsy within the last couple months. I got a box from them that's still sitting unopened from a few weeks ago that they sent me. I just can't. I just can't get caught up. Oh god. I mean, it's hilarious in some ways, but sad in others because I've wasted so much money on products I'm never going to use. But in the same breath, if I don't get these, I'm going to miss out on things that I otherwise wouldn't know about or wouldn't be able to try because one of these things alone would cost you like $45, and I'm not going to spend $45 on a maybe with makeup. So you spend the 30 and you get these five full size things, which may or may not be awesome, but they accumulate. Now, in the past, I would get those things every month, but I realized about a year and a half ago that I just had way too much coming in, so I got back to every other month. And I find that even that would be too much. but it also increases the risk of missing out on on something really good. If you go too far between, you'll miss out something that really really resonates with you. Sorry, my hair just keeps falling down. Um, but yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just rambling on and on about makeup. I apologize for that. I know majority of you are not here for makeup talk. um, but yeah, let's see. So I talked about going back to work. I talked about my live stream that's gone nowhere. I talked about the makeup. Um, I got a cat somewhere around here that's in hiding. Gosh, she is so clingy. Oh, but yeah, you know, I don't even know if I talked about this, but did with it being so close to when I had the surgery, I don't really know if I discussed my self-imposed deadline back in September. Um, back about a year ago, or at the beginning of the year. Um, I was very despondent. I was, I'd given up. I had lost all hope for everything. Um, Back then, I had chosen, a date in mid-September where the plan was that if I couldn't find a reason, a valid, solid reason to keep living, that was going to be the day where I would, pick up. I had decided between my gun or my knife at that point, but I was going to use one or the other as the instrument to end my life. Um, and it was a case where even down into the last 100 days, I was still considering it quite seriously. I would say it was around 90 days out that I finally was able to reach a conclusion that I wasn't likely to go through with it. And a lot of that had to do with the community that I found myself getting into, um, courtesy of the music and the interactions with one Kuanano. I know I've talked about them, um, not too extensively over the summer, but it was their songs and their community that kind of helped uh, pull me back from the brink of total despair and kind of gave me some to hold on to, So, but anyway, September 17th came and went, and I'm still here. So I don't recall if I ever mentioned that before, or if I actually specified that September 17th was the date that I had chosen to be my grand finale checkout date if I couldn't find a reason to hold on. But as you can see, I'm still here. We're in mid-November now, so 2 months later, and I'm still here. So a win for now, anyway. But yeah, apart from that, yeah, I'm thinking here. I'm trying to think if there's anything more that I really need to delve into at this point. Not really. I mean, my entire last month has been thinking about my book. I think I might have written a page over the past month. So I really dropped the ball there. And unfortunately, a lot of that has to do with the fact that I don't have a good setup for writing right now. See, earlier in the year, or was it in the last year, I had behind me on the wall, I actually have purchased a light that's supposed to sit overhead, um, again, mounted on the wall. And that was going to be what I would use for reading and for writing. You know, well, I used this. I used a pillow like this one to sit up against and just be comfortable while I wrote. Unfortunately, the light fell off the wall. It wouldn't stay up, and I've just never gotten around to getting another one because, well, history repeats itself. So there's that. But God, yeah, I really do need to get back into writing that story and really work on those characters. I got a bunch of characters I want to write. I want to really flesh out their stories. I really want to give life to these fictional people inside my head that they've got their baggage, they got their traumas that they need to work out, and there's aside from Marexa, who's been my golden child for the last 13 years. There's another one that I really want to try. I really need to explore writing, just because her perspective is going to be very unique in that she will not be able to verbally communicate with the world, which, how would I put this? It's no secret that I hate my voice. I mean, I well and truly hate this voice that I have, because I cannot get to do anything that I wanted to do. So it was from that frustration that I conceived this character. I call her Tamara, or Tammy, and you know, one of her characteristics, that's going to very deeply impact, the person that she is going to be that she she had an incident in her past that left her vocal cord severed. So uh, verbal communication is not something that she can do. And in a lot of ways, I find myself envious of someone who doesn't have that capacity. And I really want to be able to get into, to put myself inside of the mind of someone who is incapable of verbal communication with with the world around them. It, I don't know. Maybe calling it an escape for me is a bit of a stretch, but I think it'll help give me perspective, for to kind of help with my own hangups as far as my voice goes, and my desire to not actually need to speak at all. I mean, if I could do all this in text and elicit any kind of response from an audience, I actually would prefer to go with text. But I know it's not how the world works. The world needs vision. They need to see things, and they need to they need their visual their visual stimulation, where when it's just words on a page, that just flies under the radar, So you need to be able to see things. Emotion needs to be able to hear a voice. You need that audio stimulation. So I know if I ever did go back to blogging as opposed to vlogging, note the one letter difference there. I know I wouldn't have nearly the reach that I do right now, which is what, like a dozen people. But no, it's just something that I think about. Okay, why did I create this character? Why am I going to create this mute, you know, um, city guard, who can't even speak, but is going to have some role in this story. What was that noise? Hmm. Yeah, my neighbor moved out next door. Uh, she moved out back on Thursday. I know she's coming back to do cleaning and whatnot in her next door. But it's gonna be so weird not having her around because Lynn has been she's been kind of like the big sister type to me since I moved in here. Uh, what was it? 7 years ago? Yeah, yeah. I've been here 7 years already. Man, it's just yeah. Time flies by. Um, well, anyway, I know I babbled on quite a bit here already. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this off in a minute. I know I want to do something with my hair. I'm thinking that I want to go back to the salon. I had it done that last year and get the same color. Maybe a similar style that I had as before, but I don't know. I looked I've looked at my selfies from back then, and I appreciate how much more uh, femme I looked back then. But at the same time, I still felt like it felt like something was missing. And I don't know if it was just because I was so new into HRT at that point, and my facial changes hadn't really set in yet at that point, or if it was something else. But I don't know. It'll be a few weeks before I actually do it. I need to start saving money again, just because the past month and a half has been pretty anorexic as far as income goes. Because I've been on disability payments only, and that's only 60% of what you normally earn. So I've had just over half my usual income, which means not a whole lot of money for discretionary spending, having fun, things of that nature. And we're a month out from the property tax bills coming out. I anticipate a much higher tax bill this year because they revalued the properties this summer, and mine nearly doubled over last year. Plus, they did they tore up and resurfaced the road in front of my house over the summer too, which will of course that'll involve a special assessment as well. So I'm bracing for a 5-digit tax bill this year, and usually it's just a couple $1,000s for taxes, but property value they said doubled, plus special assessment. I'm thinking probably $10,000 to $12,000. So I don't know. It's going to be a rough one this year for tax season. Plus, you got the holiday spending coming up for Christmas presents, along with the usual onslaught of monthly bills. So yeah, I'm gonna wait a few weeks and see where my finances are before I commit to spending $150 or $200 on a new hair color and trim. But after that, I really hope to have something worthwhile to show off. I do miss having what would you call it, the framing of my face with my hair. really soften things up. I thought I miss it. 'Cause, yeah, I know short surgery. I really don't have the you know the facial softness that I really need for a real convincing look as a trans gal. And I can't afford surgery because that's not covered by insurance. So that would be probably $20,000, $30,000 out of my own pocket, which I don't have. So, so I gotta wait until I got a sizable nest egg built up to even consider that. But anyway, a few weeks from now, hope to get new hair. Hope to get. I was also looking at what do you call it? Like a like an all-in-one beauty place in town here. And I'm starting to think that they have oh, I forgot what they call it, but it's like a serum based injections, to help with wrinkle reductions and lip plumping and things, things of that nature. I'm I'm wanting to look into that too, just because it's something that my friend Robin had suggested to me a long time ago was getting those injections. She you know she is drop dead gorgeous as is, but she goes in and she gets these injections at one of her places a couple hours away from here, and she swears by them. So she's been encouraging me to try it out, for myself for quite a while. So I might just have to go ahead and do that. But anyway, I've been battling for way too long now. How long has it been? I guess it's been over half an hour. Yeah, it's time for me to shut up. But anyway, I hope I didn't bore y'all too much with my incessant rambling and uncharacteristic obsession with makeup talk. But I will let you go, and next time you see me, I will have been working again. So anyway, I will talk to you later.